Good day. My name is Paul Taylor and I'm a licensed paralegal by the Law Society of Ontario. This simply means that as a paralegal in Ontario, I can and do represent parties before administrative boards, tribunals, or commissions, the Ontario Small Claims Court, and individuals who have been charged with a criminal offense that is proceeding by way of summary conviction. For more information on the areas of law I practice, please check out my website at www.paulsparalegal.ca. Recently, the Law Society has begun to license paralegals in Ontario to practice limited areas of family law. I personally do not practice any family law. To learn more about paralegals in Ontario, you can contact the Law Society of Ontario. I will leave a link in the show notes to their website. Today's topic that I'm going to talk about is how to create an evidence brief. An evidence brief is used to organize and prepare your evidence for a trial or hearing. It is very important if you must go to a trial or hearing and you have your evidence that you organize the evidence in an easy structure. The reasons are it organizes your case so that you can easily find evidence. There's nothing worse in a case when you're trying to present your case and you can't find pieces of evidence that are crucial to your case. That everyone is looking at the same piece of evidence or everybody's on the same page. If you're referring to a photo and you say photo number 1 at tab 16 of the evidence brief, everybody's going to know what you're referring to. That the opposing side won't challenge as they won't be surprised by your evidence, claiming trial by ambush. By this I mean, if you've just recently brought into evidence, there are exceptions, but they don't want to be surprised, and that's why the objection is called trial by ambush. They don't want to be ambushed by your new evidence. They want to have an opportunity to respond. Most importantly, that your evidence complies with various rules of the legal forums you are appearing before. When I say forum, I mean court, board, tribunal, or commission. And when I say matter, I'm talking about your case. Many legal forums have rules requiring evidence to be structured in a certain way for a trial or hearing. For example, the Landlord Tenant Board states in their practice directive on evidence that evidence must be readable, have consecutively numbered pages, and include a list or table of contents identifying each item in order and by page number. If more than one item is being submitted, meaning if you have more than one piece of evidence, you need to do an evidence brief. I've put a link to this LTB directive in the show notes. Other legal forums may be more or less restrictive. The process I am using should generally work with most legal forums. However, always check with the legal forum to ensure you are meeting their specific requirements. Please remember, this is not in any way legal advice, and it is only for informational purposes. For this demonstration, I will be using two programs, Microsoft Word as part of Microsoft's Office 365 subscription service, so whatever version that is. I'm also currently using Adobe's Acrobat full version. By this I mean not Acrobat Reader, the free version. I'm using the paid version. This is what I'm using, and I do not know if you are able to do the same with other programs, nor do I know when I show you features if they will be in the same place as the other programs. Many people will use Google Docs. I don't use Google Docs, so I really don't know. For this demo, the first step is to create a cover page. The cover page, as you can see, provides basic information about your case and the document or the evidence brief specifically. So here is an example of a cover page with the specific areas highlighted. At the very top right, you indicate the file number. In this case, it's LTB file number. In the case of WSIB, it'd be WSIB claim number. In the case of court, it'd be court file number, and so on. Next, state the parties Next is the legal forum, which in this case is the landlord and tenant board. Then after that, you would state the parties. And as you notice, this says between the two different parties. This has three, so it makes it more interesting and it gives you a better example of how to structure it. Most cases, it's just two parties. Um, and this would be required if you were doing in the case of the parties on the right side, you can see I've put two titles. Normally you would just have one if it's just an initial application or hearing. But if you're going to reconsideration or an appeal, then you'd have like the applicant, and then below you'd have it like the requesting party for reconsideration or appellate in an appeal, and then below it the applicant or whatever. Um, this isn't something that you start off normally, but it's something, as you can see there, it's helpful. Then in the next is the name of the document, being evidence brief and who it is. You can state evidence brief of the person's name and then their title. If you've noticed here on this document, I picked politicians of different political parties, the leaders, just to make it a bit more fun. This is not a real case in any way, so please don't think it is. This is an important example when we're in a hearing, especially in person, and they have 3 or 4 books. This identifies the book that you're referring to. So when you say, excuse me, Your Honor, or excuse me, member, in the evidence brief of merit styles, the applicant, you can refer to tab 16 at page 26. So that way they're boom, 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 they're right on the same page as you. Remember what is that? Same page. That's very important. So when you're talking, they're not rifling about and looking for stuff and it's utter chaos. That's if it's in person. Usually in a digital format, it's much the same. They'll open up that document and then they'll go to that tab. Then the next one is if you're represented, you would state the name of the law firm and the paralegal or lawyer who's representing you. Now, if you're self-represented, you would put where it says the law firm name, in this case, Paul's Paralegal, you would put your name. Then below that, you put your contact information. You don't put your name twice. So you just remove that. And then below it, instead of saying licensed paralegal for, you would say self-represented party, applicant and tenant, Miss Merit Style. So that's how you would structure it that way. Or whatever way, as long as the person who's reading it understands who you are, your contact information, and that you're either represented, who the representative is, or if you're self-represented. Again, on the other side, the two, you would state their representative name and information, and if they're self-represented, you do the same thing. Now, if, like in this case, there's 3 parties, but I didn't have enough room to add the next one down. But so basically all you do is if there's others on the left, you would just say and to, and then do the same thing on a separate line. That's all. So this is the cover page basically. And I'm going to give you I'm going to go through the process and give you an actual example so you can see it better. Next, you need to create an index that will start to look something like this. It simply is a 3-column table in Microsoft Word document. To create an index or a table, you just go in Microsoft Word, insert table, highlight 3, and go down as many columns as you need. Now, as many rows as you need. Now, oftentimes you may have more than 5 or 10 pieces of evidence. You may have 152, 300 pieces of evidence. In that case, you highlight the rows, right-click, insert rows. You'll figure this out. Word is pretty easy to use, and if there's something that's confusing, you can always Google it. There's a lot of good resources out there on the internet, on YouTube as well. Next is to create the index itself. You need to create a label at the top, as you can see there. The left column is labeled tab, the middle is the item, what you're talking about, and then on the far right side is the page number. Next, we'll talk about creating the cover and index that we just created in Microsoft Word, converting it to a PDF document, and then creating your evidence brief. So for this example, I'm going to do it live and show you exactly how to do this. Just give me 1 second while I open up the document. So here we are here, view page width. So I've already created the template here, so I don't have to waste time typing it. And trust me, my typing skills aren't that great. So as you can see, it's just a Word document, and you just format it this style if you want. I mean, you could do it a little bit different. It just depends on the forum if they're very picky about the style. So the first step you would do is now you have a placeholder. Now this is a little bit tricky because when you're creating your evidence brief into a PDF format, this gives you a placeholder, these 2 pages. But the problem is if your evidence gets into 100, 200, 300 pages, it's going to create a little bit of confusion with your page numbering when the index goes beyond 1 page and 2 or 3. So try your best to calculate or guess the page numbering. You may have to make revisions, page numbers, and correct the page number on your index. So to do this, what I do is I just go save copy. And then from here, you can see it says evidence brief, Microsoft Word document. I've already got it. I just change it to PDF and then go save. Now, what I suggest you do is create another document and then call it this. This way, when you do go back to amend your index and then resave it, you don't save it over the original evidence brief. So I'm just going to minimize this document, and then I'll show you here. Now you can see that it's created in my folder, the evidence brief, which is here now. And as you can see in my folder, I'll open that up. I have 4 pieces of evidence that I've created. They're fake. Some of it's a little bit real, but it's just a sampling to show you how to do this. So now you have your PDF document with your index here that isn't complete. And what you would do is you would create, the first step is to create I'm going to delete this first. Okay. So what you would do is, I'm just going to move this over so you can see it better. So now you go, this is in Adobe Acrobat, and this is how it looks normally. So you go over here and you have comments, bookmarks, I'm going to talk about that later, and page view. So this here lets you view the entire document in a smaller format. So what you do is you create and you insert a blank page after this. In each piece of evidence, as you've noticed in my folder, I've labeled each piece of evidence, do this, because it organizes it for you when you're building your evidence brief book. That way, oh, did I insert that or not? You know by looking at everything. It's all labeled for you. Labels are very important. So this one here, what you do is between each piece of evidence is put a separating page so it helps you and everyone know what page they're on. So in this case, we're going to insert on the left there, you can see text, and we're going to type tab 01, highlight it, we're going to change it, increase the font size as you can see here to 48, say, tab, and then close that. Now, let's minimize it now. As you can see now we have the cover, the index, and tab 1. But we have 4 pieces of evidence, so we need 4 tabs. The easiest way to do this is go copy, and then you can go Control V, Control V, Control V, which is paste. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now they're all named the same. What you do is then just go Edit, change this to 2, go to the next one, change this to 3, then go to the next one, 4, change this to 4. Okay? So now what we've got is we've basically got our cover page, index, and all our tabs. We just need to put in the actual physical evidence. So what you do is you just go right click the tab page, that the next page before you want your evidence in, and go insert from file. And this is for PDF document evidence. And you go to where I have it here. So tab 1 would be this. Insert after page 4, that's correct. There we go. Then we go down to the next one. Now, the next one is also insert from file, tab 2. This is also a PDF document. You can insert Microsoft Word documents into Adobe, but I find it's easier to just convert and then insert. It's quicker. Now, the next one is an image. So what I do, what's quicker, I used to convert the image, or I'd insert the image into a Microsoft Word document, and then I would convert the Word document into a PDF. But now you'll see what's easier is just insert a blank page after the tab. There's several ways you can do images. If you have a lot of images, you could put 2 or 3 on the same page and then label each image as image 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever. But this is entirely up to you. The key is you don't want your evidence that the decision maker can't see what you're referring to. Like, so if it's a landlord-tenant matter, it's a maintenance issue, and you're saying the window's broken, and you have a big shot of a window, but then you put in a small image, he can't see the window crack, so then he's going to be like, I can't see it. But if you do it, sometimes what preparers of evidence brief will do is they'll do one big huge, like they'll do this one here, tab 3, and they'll do the image, and then the next one they'll do a close-up of the break or whatever it is. So one will be like a far away shot, and then one will be a zoomed in shot. How you do that, that's another tutorial, or you can Google search how to do it. It's not that hard. So now you have your blank here and you want to insert an image, right? And how you do it is quite easy now in Word, or in Adobe, sorry, Acrobat, the full version. You just go right here, edit, and then go to image, look, image, and now it goes right to my folder. If not, you just find it wherever you have your folder. And then you go insert image. It will let you place it, and then what I do is just move it up a bit. Hang on a second here. And then I'll just move it over a bit. Touch, there we go. Now, the other thing I want to do too is with images and videos, it's a good idea to put a little descriptor line right below it. Um, it's a good idea. All you do is you just say what it is. Always identify your photos by either image or photo 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That way we know exactly what you're talking about, especially if you have more than one on a page. With it being a digital thing, I wouldn't recommend doing multiple images on one page just because it may cost you. Now, what you can do, if you know who it was taken by, then write it in, and I'll tell you why. Is because you're just writing the author of it and you're writing the date. That way, when you're talking about it, this tells you exactly. It gives you the description. Because I will have in an evidence brief when a witness is on the stand in like court in a trial, I'll give them the evidence brief and I'll say, please turn to tab 3. And they go, I say, explain that to me. And they'll say, oh, this is image 1 taken by me of so and so on May 1st, right? There you go. So it helps them a little bit, and it's the proper process. You're not cheating or anything. So that's how you do an image. And doing a video is a little bit more complicated, but it's about the same process. So what I do is you create another blank page afterwards. Then I rotate it to give a nice profile or portrait is what they call it. Then what I do is on the blank page. Now to insert a video, what you do is, let me just close this so it shows you. So you've got your blank page, you go to edit, then go to here more, and then you'll see video. If you have a sound file you want to upload and insert as well, you follow the same process as video. So you just go video, and then look at your cursor changes to a cross, and then you just draw a box. That's where the player will be. And then you click browse, go to the folder at the top. Here's where it is stored on your computer. And then click, in this case, click open, and it opens it. You can say show advanced tools if you want, play on contact, click on demand, whatever you want. And then just click OK. There's your video. You can change the player size while it's in this mode. Again, like I said, I would do a very video number 1 taken by Bill Smith on May 1st, 2058 or something. I would do this just so, again, like the images, so you know when it was taken and by who, right? So when they're looking, because oftentimes you file your evidence and serve your evidence early. So when you're doing that, people know what this video is without even playing it. They can see, right? And they can see the relevance. Then, of course, they're going to play the video. And like I said, you can change the shape of the video player in that. So that's basically your evidence brief physically created. As you can see, you have 4 tabs and an index. But now you're like, but wait a minute, Paul. There's no page numbers and the index is incorrect. That's no problem. So what you do is you minimize your Adobe, and then you go back to your evidence brief cover document. See how I saved it as cover? And you'll see in a minute why. So we have tab 1, and then we have I've already typed these out because you don't want me wasting your time. And then what I do is I put dots, right? And then what I'll do is hang on a second, let me just open the Word document. So where was tab 1 was 4. So we'll go to page 4, right? Then 2 is there. It just, with the dots, it makes it look better, makes it look pretty. And then we'll go to the document again. Where was tab 2? Tab 2 is page 19. So then that would be page 19. I reduce the dot count when your number digits change. So in other words, single digit, I put 5 dots in. 2 digits, I put 4, so on and so forth. Just makes it look better. Then 3 is this one. Now the date's wrong on the image, but it's just an example, right? So fix this one here. And then 3 is 21, right? And then 4 is our last one. And if you have like 80 or 50, whatever amount of evidence you have, You just duplicate. Once you've done this enough times, you're like, oh, this is easy. As you can see, it's straightforward. It's just knowing how to build it the first time, then you're okay. So 4 is 23, right? So then we go here. Right. So now we've created our index with the information page number. Now, I don't like these lines, especially the extra lines below. So what I want to do is I want to remove them. So how you do it is you see this little plus box, right click, go to table properties, make sure your whole thing is highlighted, then go to none. Hang on, let me do that again. This box opens, go borders and shading, then click none, no border, click OK, and look what happens. Now it makes your index look pretty. Now you've got an all new cover page and index. Now what you need to do is just go save a copy. Now this is important because if you had not changed the name to the word evidence brief cover and then you go like this, you're going to save over what you just finished working on. So now you're going to save it as a PDF. Click Save. Now you can close this. Go back to your PDF document, right? Just like we were. Now what you do is you delete the cover page second, and then your index. So now what you do is you insert that revised evidence brief cover page above. So you say before, not after, before. And there you go. Now the final step, obviously, is page numbers. So you've got your nice pretty looking cover page with the parties. You've got a nice looking index. Then you need to put in the page numbers. Why do I have this extra page here? I don't know. Okay, take that out. So, so the next step is how do you put in a page number in a PDF document? Well, it's quite easy. Just go Edit, here, Header and Footer, click that, Add. Then we're going to change the style of the page number format by going here. See right there, Format, and then you go here. So you can change, like if you wanted to start counting page numbers after the index, when you get into complex legal books, they do that. And then like the indexes, they do I, and then after the index, they start with page 1. I don't do that. I just do the whole book this way because, to be quite honest, it's the easiest. And then you click OK. Then you go here, bottom right is where I put it. I go Insert Page Number, and then I change the font size to 12 to make it nice and pretty and easy to see. Click OK. There we go. Then I take the page number off the cover page. I don't know why I just do. I think it's because it looks better. Okay, so now you have your document. It's complete with tabs and page numbers. Your evidence is there. It's easy to find. Go page 4, go right here, search page 4, it's there. But what if you want to make it easier for finding the documents? And I'll tell you, if you have a quick reference to these where instead of keying in page numbers and scrolling up and down and stuff, which you can do this two ways in Adobe. One is you can highlight this and make it a hyperlink. So you can highlight this, create link, go to page view. If you have a document that's too big, you can always do it that way, is do a file. But at any rate, so we're just talking about this, click next, and then you're going to go to tab 1, set link. Now, let's do tab 2 and I'll show you a different way of doing it. Create link, next. So then we're going to go way down to tab 2. Now instead, you could say, no, I don't want tab 2 to show up. I want the actual piece of evidence to show up. You can do that if you want. And you can do the same for the others. The other option too is to create what's called as bookmarks. On the right here, On the right side, you have your thing, like I was telling you, comments, bookmarks, and then the page view. Click on bookmarks. Adobe sometimes creates automatically bookmarks, but in this situation, I don't like it. It doesn't work right. So you just click right here, create. You have to be on the page you're at, and then in this case, it's index. So I do that. Then I'll go like this, and I'll go like this, and I'll go, oh, right there. Control C, there we go. Okay, then what I'll do is, in this case, now I want to go to tab 1, right here. Then I go like this, and go tab 1. Now, what I did was is I cheated, and I copied and pasted. Then, so what I do in the style of the bookmark is, let me see if I can do this correctly. There we go. So what I'll do is when creating the bookmark, I'll say tab number space dash, and then I'll do the item, and then you can't really see it because it's too long. Then I'll do dash and the date, right? Now you could change that. You can shorten it. You can actually, in fact, you can wrap long bookmarks, right? So things like that. See how it works? See wrapping it? Right. So then you do the same again for tab 2 is you go to tab 2, and I just want to do tab 2 to show you the difference about jumping about. So then I go here and then say tab 2. My bookmarks are bolded, and that's because I was using bolding before. Hang on 1 second here. There we are. Let's take out the date just for. You don't have to say dated because you put a space to make it easier. And you can see now, so when you're talking and you're presenting your evidence, and then you save it all. So when you're talking and you're doing your evidence, you can go, yes, the lease at tab 1, boom, right here you're at the lease. And then say they're talking and they go, well, did you ever tell the landlord? Yes, I did. At tab 2, here's the email making the request for evidence, whatever way you're. So as you see now, with the bookmarks and the hyperlinks, it really makes it easier for you when you're presenting your case with the evidence, because now you're not going, oh, where's that evidence? And you're fumbling about, and you're not focused on making your arguments and getting your point across because your evidence wasn't organized, but now it is, and now you can focus on your case. So that's basically it. With that, the only thing is that what I've been told by the LTB members sometimes is they say that bookmarks and hyperlinks don't work for them. That's fine. I would do it anyway just for myself and even for the opposing side. So when you're talking to them, they're not holding things up. You might go, oh, to hell with them, make it harder for them. You're actually making it harder for you, because if they can't find something, believe you me, they'll say it. I can't find it. And now everything has to pause and wait while they get to what you're looking at. So the quicker you make it for everybody and the better, the easier it will be for you presenting your case. So that's my presentation on how to create an evidence brief. If you have any legal problems, or if your case is becoming too much that you can't do it yourself, you can always give me a call or go to my website and book an online free 30-minute consultation. My name is Paul Taylor from Paul's Paralegal. Have yourself a great day. Bye now.